with Up and Adams, the show there on FanDuel television. And that's exactly what Sean Payton did this morning. His first stop was FanDuel television with Kay Adams and talked about the team's needs and wants.
We do the evaluation of our team, and the purpose of that is then to establish what we call musts, needs, and wants.
Must, needs, wants. Okay.
So who are our musts?
Your must, you need a veteran wide receiver. That's what I think. I'd like to see you.
I would say we need a joker.
You need a Reggie Bush.
An interior, and a joker now can be a tight end or a running back that has exceptional. We were spoiled here.
Yeah.
When you think about it, all right, you had Reggie, you had Jimmy Graham, Jeremy Shockey, Darren Sproles, Alvin Kamara. Those are interior, either tight ends or running backs.
Jokers.
That they have to be elite receivers that play tight end or running back.
Got you.
And then you get the matchups, and we had quite a few of them here because you're getting too high defense and you have to work the inside.
Okay, real quick, I got to do this one again.
Okay.
With all due respect.
Yes.
Hey, Kay, I'm not really interested in what you think the Broncos need. Let Sean speak on the question that you just asked him, please. Okay, I had to get that part off of my chest.
She's excited to talk to her buddy, man.
I guess so.
Excited to talk to her buddy, Sean. But I love how he shoots down the veteran wide receiver, Will Brandon Stokely. 2 Bloody Marys deep right now at noon. Will he change his opinion on the Cooper Kupp? They're not getting Cooper Kupp, all right? They're not trading for Cooper Kupp. They're not going to break the bank for T. Higgins. These things are not going to happen. So we can deal in reality or we can deal in fantasy. I'm up for either one. You just tell me which one it is.
Sure.
Because the reality of the situation is Sean Payton just told you, veteran wide receiver, because Kay was like, I think you guys need a veteran wide receiver. He goes, no, need a joker.
Need a joker.
The first thing he said was that they need a joker. And that, to me, and the way he answered the joker question, because she goes, oh, Reggie Bush. He's like, no, it can be a tight end.
Yeah.
Tight end's their number one priority.
Wow. Well, and also, I agree with what you just said, but I can't ignore what Sean has done in the past, and the past is last year's draft where he duped a couple of people, and I mean the Minnesota Vikings, into making a move. Like, would that be is Sean playing the game here yet? Of like, no, we don't need a veteran wide receiver, and then he is all in on Cooper Kupp? I agree with what you're saying.
Okay.
But knowing what Sean is, would he be throwing off the scent in any way? He loves to play the game.
Yeah, he does. But this is with Kay.
You don't play games with Kay.
He'll tell Kay anything. She's the female Roy Firestone.
Yeah.
She's like a tiny Roy Firestone, right? Making people cry, making them tell you everything about him, right?
Jerry Maguire, my agent. And he starts crying.
Exactly. So Kay Adams, the new Roy Firestone, Sean Payton, telling her the truth.
All right. Well, I agree with you. The Joker is a priority because that's all he's talked about for the 2 years here to go and find him. I will say this. I think that fans will be very excited when Sean, because there'll be guys out there, and you and I have had the conversation, like, has Marvin Mims turned into the default Joker by now? But when Sean has it, he's going to let us know over and over and over again. I wonder, like, okay, you have your quarterback, right? We know that Bo and Sean, the fit is there, and Bo's the guy. Bo's the face of the franchise for the foreseeable future.
Yep.
And then if he finds that Joker, so then you're going to go, all right, you have Bo, you have your Joker. We know what the defense is.
Right.
Most of the time, December excluded.
Yes.
That's going to ramp up expectations real fast, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, amongst the Broncos players and Sean themselves, which is a good thing, but fans are going to go, all right, you like you say with VJ, you can't have everything.
Right.
I think it'd be the opposite here. Fans are going, well, you got what you need. Let's go. Win a playoff game, beat the Chiefs, challenge for the division, all of those things.
Yeah, push for a Super Bowl. There's no reason to think that those expectations would not be there. They're there. Whether you like to believe it or not, and I'm afraid that there's too many people out there in Broncos country that are afraid to feel again, to love again, to trust again.
Oh, yeah, that's
because
a big one.
always and forever, this team was constantly in a Super Bowl window. And when Mike Shanahan is like 8-8, he gets fired. He's one of the greatest coaches of all time, not just for the Broncos. We're talking the entire league. But 500 wasn't cutting it, or just barely above 500. This and the Steelers accepting like, hey, Mike Tomlin, You don't win a playoff game ever again, but you're above 500. Yay! Broncos country, it's built differently. And I know the Steelers have more rings. Don't at me, bro, especially my buddy Pittsburgh D's probably texting me already. You'll be all right, D.
What's up, D?
But the Broncos fans out there, it's okay to think Super Bowl. It's okay to have those expectations. You already made the postseason. That technically means you're a Super Bowl contender. So if you're going to, and I know there's levels, but are you really going to be happy if they go to the playoffs again and then lose in the wild card round? Are you really going to be happy if they go to the playoffs, win the wild card game, but then get waxed in the divisional round? Are you really going to be happy? Or are you going to be happy when they go to the Super Bowl?
I'd be happy with a step in the right direction.
I know this.
Obviously, Super Bowl is the one.
Yes.
We talk about wants and needs. I want them to win the Super Bowl. I need them to improve every year.
Okay, improve, struggle, improve, excel.
Yeah,
I think we're in the improve part.
Yeah.
And the excel part's coming. And it's coming faster than some people may be realizing. And what I'll tell you, brother, is this. Merely not as pushback, not as elderly advice.
Yeah. You are elderly.
Yes, I am. Me and your dad aren't that far apart in our age.
Us three need to bro out at some point.
We do need to bro out while your dad's here. I will say this. This league isn't built that way. You may think that. Like, it sounds nice, right? It sounds comfortable. It's the guarantee on the box. If they just take the step and then they got the step, but then because you can talk yourself into being disappointed. I don't want to be disappointed. I want to be a champion. I want to be top of the mountain. I don't want to be, that's next year and then year 3 of Bo Nix. Like, you're wasting time. It's our most precious asset. And things work on a silent count. I don't want to get too heavy out there, but things work on a silent count. You don't know when it's up.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
You're right.
The silent count of life and death. Well, in sports-wise, in terms of windows, you don't know when that is. You don't know. It just might be done.
Yeah.
So you go for it now because you can, because you're close, and you're closer than most people would admit or think because, again, it's comfortable to say, well, what had happened is they went to the divisional round, but they're not there, a little bit more and here and there. It's a comfort thing. I'm telling you to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Okay,
can
I
you
like
do
that
for me?
I like
Can
that.
Broncos country, YouTube, can you do that for me? Can you be uncomfortable and say, hell yeah, we're going to the Super Bowl. Can you do that? Because that's what used to happen when you're a little shaver running around up North Denver.
Yeah.
You know what you were thinking? Super Bowls. You weren't thinking, hey, guys, wild card, yay. You're thinking, let's get the damn ring.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. And I enjoy being uncomfortable. I really like seeing other people uncomfortable, too. That's what I really enjoy.
I think I made Richie uncomfortable when I said he was the Sean Payton of our group.
We've still been doing that, too. Who do we determine I am? Oh, Devon Vele. Richie said I'm Devon
I didn't
Vele.
like that one. I was like,
I was like, he's a 7th-round pick, Richie, right? Like,
but he's also a rookie. You're not a rookie in this game.
no, definitely not.
I said you were like McGlinchey, right?
Okay, all right, I'll take that. I'm like the mayor.
Comes from another team.
Yeah.
Really good to talk to.
Yeah.
Right? A foundational piece.
Oh, see, that's much better than what
See?
Richie said.
Totally better than Devon Vele.
Apparently you like to flinch a lot.
Yeah, true. I might get a couple penalties every single show, but it
That's
works.
fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be McGlinchey. I'll certainly trade paychecks with him.
But Broncos country, it's time to believe again.
I like that. That's well said. Well, do they need a veteran wide receiver, or does Sean have confidence in the room that is right now?
I think a better wide receiver fits in a need,
Not a
and yet,
must-have.
man, I would say we're stronger there than some would think.
Okay.
A Devon Bailey, Troy Franklin. There's a number of receivers that we drafted a year ago. We'll look closely through the middle. Inside linebacker, safety. There'll be a few other positions.
Okay, so veteran wide receiver getting kind of talks about the need there, but then
Right.
talks about the needs. He said safety there, too. That's something you and I in Merlat brought it up earlier. The kid from South Carolina that's been mocked to the Broncos at 20. Now, 20 would be an absolute mistake. There's no chance the Broncos are picking a safety at 20. But he says it's a need right there.
Yeah.
That stood out to me for sure because I do not believe it's a need. If we were going to do the need-want thing, you might want to upgrade P.J. Locke, but I don't know that it's a necessity.
I think it's the 5th need on this team. I think it goes in order: running back, tight end, inside linebacker, defensive tackle depth, and then safety. Sean may have a different ranking. Not first-round ranking.
Sure.
Maybe not free agent ranking, But at some point in this draft, they're going to take another safety, which they should. But it's perhaps less so than some people think. But apparently it's on Sean's mind as, he's trying to get a word in edgewise with Kay.
Yeah.
They're answer the question, Claire.
Does she have a program director? Like who coaches her?
Nobody tells Kay what to do.
Oh, okay. I just didn't. I was just like, as I'm listening, I'm like, will there be a feedback session with this interview? Because there should be.
Yeah, well, when you're chopping it up with your bros, it's a little bit different. You know what I mean? And her and Sean are very close, so that's what you get. That's why he'll do the car wash thing, and he'll talk to Pro Football Talk or whoever else is there. He won't say what he said with Kay.
Okay. So that's where you really get the information with Kay Adams.
Yeah, he'll do more of the standard press conference, like relative to all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
With Kay, I mean, he'll tell you anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
He's certainly done that. It's also interesting that he says safety because
okay.
I'm glad you caught that.
Yeah.
That we just said it. We've said it going up to end of season to now. Like, hey, this is a fantasy draft. You do everything with Bo. You do everything on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
And then here's Sean labeling a defensive side, that's safety, as a priority for him. So it just caught me off guard a little bit. I don't know that I believe it, or he's just talking for the sake of talking.
Yeah, just talking for the sake of talking. Notice also how he didn't say anything about any sort of pass rush. Did the Myles Garrett thing already fall apart?
Probably.
And I know it's Sports Talk Radio. We do it. Myles Garrett's on. He wants a trade. Does the Broncos be interested? Okay. No. I mean, he didn't even mention it.
No.
Because of all the rushers that they have already. So it's interesting. We're going to put a pin in it. Is he playing the game? Is Sean Payton basically lying? I don't think so because it's Kay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's New Orleans. And, he's not yet in clandestine mode. When I talked to him at the owner's breakfast, and God, I hope you're there with me, sitting at the breakfast table, sunny St. Pete? Is it in St. Pete? It's at a resort. I know it's at a resort in Florida this year. Yeah, it's in Florida.
I'm in, dude. I'm in.
At a resort.
Yeah.
Yeah. I that's when he'll be in lie to you mode.
Okay.
Because he lied to me about J.J. McCarthy. Mm-hmm. I'll take that L. I'll take that out.
Well, he was using you.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
He totally used me. But it was awesome. I was like, he just said they love J.J. McCarthy, and then he did not love J.J. McCarthy.
Well, and that's what smart coaches will use the media the same way that media can use coaches.
Especially chuckleheads like me who will be like, I'm going to tell this dummy this, and he's going to run with it.
Yeah.
And I totally fell for it.
Well, you're not the first, and you won't be the last. It's good for us. It's good for us.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good that he's, making the rounds and saying these sorts of things and specifically going to the Joker, going to that position, an elite receiver. Now, again, note that who in this draft class is an elite receiver that plays running back? Ashton Genty is an elite receiver.
Yeah.
I believe Devin Neal
You've
can
talked about
be
his
that
pass catching
as
ability.
a pass catcher as well. O'Marion Hampton might be a little bit further down, Kev. He's already claimed O'Marion Hampton as his own.
That's my Bo Nix.
That's his Bo Nix this year.
That is my guy.
So O'Marion Hampton might be further down. You know what it also eliminates? I think, and Spivak may disagree with me, but I think it eliminates Caleb Johnson from the conversation. Like, he's a power back and he can catch a little bit, but he's looking, he said it, his words, elite receiver who plays running back or tight end.
Well, and it's also, you go back to, we were doing the conversation yesterday about Benito's contract.
Yeah.
I want to see it again.
Yeah.
And then we use the Jerry Jeudy example of he'll give you a chance to show it again. I think he's got the Patrick, excuse me, I just read a text with Patrick in it. He's got the power back with what he thinks can be an Audric estimate and isn't going to pull the plug because it's unknown still. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm with you. It's pass catching back. That's what the target is.
Now, listen to also when he says elite receiver that plays running back or tight end. What does that say about blockers? Does it say anything about blockers at tight end? It says nothing.
No.
It says nothing. So when you consider who are the elite receivers, you're not getting Tyler Warren. Let's just squash that right now.
Yeah.
Here, point blank period, you're not getting Tyler Warren. So of the rest of the tight ends from this draft class, and it also speaks to free agency, Mike Gesicki is a great receiver. He's terrible at blocking. But if Sean is just looking for that receiver, we can decipher this. We can look for clues in this because of the timing and because of who he was talking to. He was talking to Kay Adams in February. He's not yet to liar's mode, which is more March and April.
Well, it's the same thing I ask about Travis Kelce, who's about to play in the Super Bowl again. You remember the big block Travis Kelce ever made in his career?
Right.
I mean, you do the same thing for the names that Sean has given us, and Jeremy Shockey, Jimmy Graham, and the running back's a little different because you're not going to ask them to do a lot of that anyway. But, Cease, you would know better than anybody in this damn town. Jeremy Shockey ever make a big block that stood out, that made a highlight reel? Jimmy Graham ever make a big block that stood out, made a highlight reel that helped his team win a football game? The answer is no to that question.
Yeah.
Do they have to get in the way and slow somebody down for a half of a second? Yes, and you do that by simply standing there on the field and delaying your route by a half a second. You don't need this big physical tight end that can put hands on ends and linebackers to slow them down from the pass rush. It's not 1985, dude.
Yeah.
It's 2025.
And you've got your blocking tight ends.
Yeah.
You're fine there. So receiving tight end is what they'd be looking for, and they might be able to get him. Harold Fannin, some of the buzz that I'm picking up about Harold, don't hate him, please, because I'm going to tell you something.
I feel like he's on the wrong end of this stuff.
Yes. He's looking more like a day 3 pick.
Yeah.
Now, here's another thing. I haven't yet told you this because I knew you'd be upset.
Uh-oh.
I've talked to teams that see him as a fullback.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Harold.
Oh, no.
1,500 yards. Bowling Green, the Penn State game, which he's mad about talking about because they lost.
Yeah.
Like, Harold, you're not in college anymore. I see more Delaney Walker or Jonnu Smith, which is good because it's H-back.
Yeah.
You know, he may not be as fast. I think testing at the combine, he can really kind of make a comeback into that third-round conversation. Right now, he's day 3. He's like round 4. And before Mobile, not me, but there were people saying he could work his way into the first round. No, he's not. So the Broncos' plan is changing. Could that plan be even more? Based on Sean Payton's own words to Kay Adams, could Sean Payton be targeting Ashton Gente even more than we know?
Like that. And also, I would say this, of if Harold is going to be turned into that, my biggest beef with the fullback situation with the Broncos is that he kept Michael Burton and Nate Atkins on the team.
Right.
Those are the same guys.
Right.
So you can have the flex kind of FB tight end position, but you don't need 2 of those guys. That was my big problem of Sean building this roster. He kept 3 quarterbacks. That's 1 roster spot that was wasted. He kept Nate Atkins and Michael Burton. That's 1 roster spot that was wasted. So we're at 51 right there.
Right.
And then he let a guy like Tim Patrick walk. Those were my problems with what Sean did with the roster, specifically that position.
Yeah.
So if you're going to have a fullback on your team, you want to be the one team that has a fullback on your team, great. But make sure that dude could do something else besides get in the way of big dudes. And by the way, you had a fullback and didn't have a 100-yard rusher. So how'd that work out, Shawnee? You know what I mean?
It's like getting Mike Evans to talk about Michael Porter Jr., Junior Porter, right? Just pull the starter. It's like the lawnmower. Just get you going. Get you going. Yeah, he's a fullback. And then just get you going. It's like talking about draft picks with me. Like, I'm going to get offended.
You are.
Get as offended as you like.
But I like that. A little bit.
It's fine.
All right, real quick, too. A text from, I think this is Swazo from A-Town. We're talking about who we would be. You're Cortland Sutton in our Broncos analogy.
You're Mike McGlinchey.
Somebody says I should be Patrick Surtain. Good leader, fun to be around. Is this my mom? Doesn't seem like he would fold under pressure.
Okay.
And doesn't mind going at the big dogs. Yeah.
Wow.
See, I like that a lot.
Okay.
But we did have a PS2 nomination. Richie nominated Mark Schlereth as Patrick Surtain because as PS2 shuts down half of the field, Stink works half of the time. So you know what I mean? It's about the same sort of situation.
Yes, okay. Yeah. So, like, he's excellent. He's 99 Madden rating. He's all pro for half the time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Mark Schlereth is Pat Surtain.
Yeah, but I really like what they said there about me from A-Town there. So now I want to be Patrick Surtain.
Okay. Could you be Riley Moss?
Oh, I'd love to be Riley Moss.
Okay.
I just wouldn't do that every time. If you're on YouTube, you just saw me do
Don't knock over your water.
Oh, crap. I hate that he does that every time.
Every time?
Every time.
Every single time?
Even if the ball sailed over his and the wide receiver's head by 10 yards, he still hits you with the incomplete.
Incomplete. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
How do you not like it? You're the rebel rouser. You're the guy that likes to, like, dig in.
I don't think you should celebrate accomplishing your job. There are expectations here, and when you meet those expectations, that's not a celebration. That's an expectation.
You don't, like, dunk, slam the microphone, spike the microphone after every segment?
No. I guess maybe we should.
Maybe.
Because we are crushing it, but...
Dunking on fools.
All right, I want to hear from Roger Goodell real quick on a couple of things. He obviously met the media and does his presser every week at the Super Bowl. We'll hear a bit more from him about the Chiefs stuff, but going into the referee thing, here's Roger defending his group of referees.
Our officials are evaluated in several ways. It's not just the performance on the field, but it's things that go on in their own lives. And we have a very tight controls over that. We monitor that very closely in a number of ways. And as I say, these officials are outstanding people, both men and women, and they go through a lot to become officials. It's a tough job.
Okay, I don't need to hear that they're great people. You know what I don't care about? Who Sean Hockley is off the field. That's a ridiculous statement from Roger Goodell. I get it. Your referees association might like you sticking up for him right there. But again, I don't care. And you know who really doesn't care who Sean Hockley is off the field? Every fan in the world.
How is Roger Goodell not better prepped to answer that question? He knew it was coming.
That's a great point, Cecil.
He knew it was coming.
That's a great point.
Now, the Chiefs knew it was coming as well. I don't like media night. Maybe I'm get off my lawn, old man, whatever. But
we're getting to that dude.
Yeah, the dudes run around.
Dudes or dude, whatever it was. Yeah,
dudettes, whatever. Like, I saw that at the Combine last year, and I hated it. Again, I'm super serious. I remember Tyler one time, he's like, you take football really seriously. I'm like, yeah, man.
Yeah, maybe you should.
It's my job, right? That's my job. So maybe it's just me, but Roger Goodell should have been prepped much better to answer that question.
He continues talking about the fans getting to see much more. You know, we get the replay and we get the slow-mo and all that than what the referees do.
This game has gotten so much faster. You're seeing so much than you did even 6 years ago. I challenge all of you, go back and look at an NFL game from the year 2000. The quality of what you see, the cameras, the angles, the number of cameras.
Is he crying?
You see an awful lot more. We want to use technology to supplement and to assist and support the officials in getting it right.
Okay, the last part there. You want to use technology to supplement and support the officials. Well, then freaking do it. Why is there not a chip in the ball? Why are we still using 70-year-old men rolling out there with a chain between two sticks to measure a first down? What he's saying right there is true. The game is probably very difficult to officiate.
Sure.
You've been on a sideline for a game. I've been on the sideline for a game. It's unbelievable how fast those guys are. The folks that have been down close for Broncos games at Mile High, you know how fast that is. Yes, it is a difficult job. They're paid handsomely to do the difficult job. And you have assets that you don't use that would help your referees in what they do. So I don't want that does sound like crying over spilt milk. You're telling us there are things that can help the referees, but you don't use them? So whose fault is that? The refs are yours, Roger Goodell.
Right. Yeah, that was weird. Again, no one's going to make these guys a sympathy character. Don't turn the refs into victims. Well, they work hard, and it's such a tough job, and everything's so fast. Be better. Be better. There's technology out there where you can put a chip in a football, and then you don't have to worry about spotting the ball ever. Right?
Or the replay assist stuff. I like what we've seen there.
Replay assist stuff. Be better. Be better. Whether you're in the booth in New York, be better. Whether you're on the field with the flag in your pants, like, be better. Just be better. And by the way, make them full time. Why aren't they full time? Was he asked about that? Why don't we have full time refs where it's your job, and you're not texting your buddies to go throw down some money on some app? Like, it's your job full time. I don't want. You're picking on poor Sean Hockley. Sean Hockley?
That's the one I know his name.
Okay,
so.
Yeah, there you go. I don't care if he's a lawyer on the side like his old man was, right? Oh, I'm a lawyer, but then on the weekends, I don't want you to dabble in officiating. I want you to be an NFL official, and I want that to be kind of weighed and looked at and judged every single season. So that's like, are you still good enough to be a ref? What? No? Okay. See ya, Pollyanna.
All right, let's